Hi, my name's John Wright. I'm my dad's undertaker. Yeah, no shit. You know what? When I was next to that bowling alley in Morton, Washington, I'd see people come and go, and I mean literally come and go. They'd bowl at that bowling alley and they'd go to that cemetery. Oh yeah, my dad had a trailer house right there where I could look and view right across the parking lot and watch the things that was happening. And even when we got that trailer over there next to the property that came over from the next door neighbor's place, Cooper's, by the way, Cooper's owned that piece of property next door where we got that trailer. My dad was the DB Cooper, and that Cooper right there, he was actually a cop that was in Morton, Washington too. And that guy's the one that picked me up in front of my dad inside that bowling alley in Morton, Washington. I just speak things right off the cuff. And good morning. Hey, and I might say, thank you for coming. And it's Saturday Night Live. Because you might come to the bowling alley and you might be bowling Monte Carlo tonight. And that's exactly what happened one night down at the bowling alley. I can remember it very well. His name was Chris Orlando, and Chris Orlando had a wife, too, by the way, that got killed. And my sister Patty was down there watching their children the night that Chris was at the bowling alley and he was acting out because Terry Lance Shortridge got murdered. And Chris Orlando's a preacher. You know, I'm not a preacher, but my wife used to say she wanted me to become a preacher so she could be the preacher's wife. She ended up marrying a preacher's wife so she could hide behind a preacher. And that's what a lot of people do, and they marry somebody to hide behind them, and they hide behind their children as well. And this is how they've done this, and this is how the cops do it too, and this is how the mob works too. They will enslave a person's family, and they'll use somebody's child like me. And then when the child grows up, and the child's sitting right here looking at everyone in their face now, all of my brothers and all of my sisters, I can make them zip their lip with a snap of my finger. When I go to businesses, and when I go to businesses, and then I find out the bullshit that's going on in their businesses, like Herb Kreitzer's down there at that bowling alley in Chehalis. That bowling alley filled up for one reason why people couldn't call crap, because I was the hijacker's son and I didn't know it. And everybody was coming in that bowling alley from miles around to bowl. The bowling alley filled back up with people. Like the owner of the bowling alley said, "You've really got this thing going." But that was after he did what I wanted and put glow in the dark bowling in and pulled a UV coating across the lanes to make it so it glowed in the dark. All of a sudden, we have a popular glow in the dark bowling alley. And the other bowling alleys, well, their businesses are failing because we're taking back these limited bowlers. When I say limited bowlers is because what they do is it's like an elite group that gets to go in there and bowl, and hey man, they'll push you out, they'll make you feel uncomfortable so you can't bowl them, because why? They can't take the competition. And when good competition comes out, they'll force them out the goddamn door by even an employee treating them bad, and I'll take my business somewhere else. Look, as a customer, I don't understand what's happening in the business. But as a person that works in the business, and then watch the people come in, and then watch the people come in and start telling me stories. Matter of fact, I had Cammy White come to the bowling alley, and I had sex with Cammy White too. Matter of fact, this is off the cuff, this is off the thing. And Cammy was bowling over on lane 2 with a guy, or lane 3 with a guy, and she's over there just dancing and just goddamn having a good time, in the bowling alley. And this is in the middle of the day, and I'll turn on the music when nobody else will. Jesus, people like to come in and they like to have a good time. So here's this woman and this man over there, and pretty soon this woman comes up and she asks for a couple cold beers, and it's on a hot summer day, you know. And she goes, "You don't know who I am, do you?" And I go, no, no. You're a bowler, and thanks for coming in." And she goes, "I'm Cammy White." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Cammy White." I will tell you about this Cammy White. When my dad got married to Judy, I had traded my dad. My dad wanted an upgrade. He wanted to get rid of Judy's ex-husband's black Ford XLT pickup. It was an XLT pickup, by the way. You know, it's a F-250, a camper special. My dad had a camper special, and that's the one he took to Port Angeles with him. And you know what? I bought that. I did the deal with my dad. I had a brand new motor in that Blazer. I knew it was going to my dad. You know, it had nice wheels and tires on it. It looked nice. My dad wanted to look good, you know, for his new wife, you know. And anyway, they gave me the truck and $400, because usually that's the deal between me and my dad, is the $400 a wheel deal. And Judy's gonna get rid of this truck, John. I want to get rid of this goddamn truck. Is how it's coming off to me. And you know, I don't really mind the truck. It has a 390 in it, and if I'm a guy that knows about engines, 390, 4-inch stroke, 4-inch stroke on the crank, 4-inch pistons across, man, I'm telling you, that's a good engine, the 390. So I did it, man. I did it. And I put my dad in that Blazer. Matter of fact, my dad drove that Blazer to Florida. That's right. And you know what? Before he did that, they added a room onto the house that Judy owned. My dad, you know, moved over there. I sold my dad a blue LTD car that was in Judy's garage. It was her ex-husband's car. I told Dad, I know a woman that has a car, because I sold my dad a car for $400. Then my dad didn't want to hurt my feelings. He told me he wanted to do an upgrade. I don't know what he did with the car. He probably sold it for more, because he painted it with a paintbrush down at the bowling alley, you guys. And this was after I found the parachute pack in his trailer house over there with his legal papers in it. You know, and here, you know, I mean, when I came there that day, I furnished him with a car. He didn't have nothing. I came there, I caught him wearing glasses. Jesus Christ, he was wearing glasses like me, and he'd been making fun of me in the past. The whole family did, you know. Clarence, the cross-eyed lion, you know. Before his death, he even fucking went like this, and he really pissed me off right there about the time of his deathbed by going, ooh, fucking making goddamn face about me, wearing fucking glasses and stuff to bring into his attention about him. You know? Right down to the things that he's done. Well, anyway, he went to Florida with that Blazer. He got down there, they pulled the trailer down there. It was going down, he was going to go see his sisters and his family, you know, for the last time. He figured they're all getting old, you know. So he's gone down there and he's got on that thing. Ooh, nunchucks, I'm dangerous, god damn it. They're cushioned, by the way. And so don't hit yourself in the nuts. So now he's gone down to Florida, and I get a phone call. It's ring, ring, you know. Hey, hey, my house burnt down in Morton, Washington. Thank you so goddamn much, John. I said, you think I... Excuse me. You think I burnt down your house in Morton, Washington? I don't burn down people's homes. That could end up you in prison. And I know this from the Nacanos, because the Cano brothers, Chuck had an older brother that was in prison for burning his family's dining room. For some reason, I know this happened, and it goes into the storyline about everything. But anyway, no, I wouldn't do that. I would never fucking burn down someone's house or damage their property. He says, well, can you go out and can you look at it and report back to me? I'll give you a call back in 2 hours. Go out there and see what happened, and I'll give you a call back. So I run out there and I look and I find out it's not the rental house next door that I lived in that he presumed burnt down. It was his house that he built that brand new bedroom in, and somebody burnt. I guess a cigarette fell out of the woman's hand and it burnt the bedroom. Yeah, there was a big hole there where his bedroom was. I don't know if that was to send him a message or not, but anyway, when he called me up, I said, yeah, there was a fire out there. I said, but it was your house that burnt. He goes, oh, that was the wrong one. I mean, and literally he called me up saying, oh, my boy, oh, thank you so much for burning my house down. Oh, my boy. I mean, like, and this is another thing that Dad's doing. Dad goddamn knows I'm not going to burn down his house. But he's telling me about Jerry and Jim, especially Jerry, is what I'm getting out of this. I'm just telling the facts and how it is, how things happen. Matter of fact, Dad had purchased the piece of property behind that house right there, and when that house burnt down and he came back, he decided that he wanted, I think that's when he decided he wanted that house tore out of there. And they ended up cleaning up that house next door, the one that burnt down, and I flipped that house over with my four-wheel drive. We just threw a noose around it, threw it over the top, piece of haywire, hooked it to my Ford four-wheel drive. Jerry grabbed the chainsaw, ran around the inside of it, loosened it up, and Jerry hopped in the passenger seat. Third good tug, man, that thing just flew right out of the ground and flipped out in front of us. Right there like tumbling dice. Dad was pretty goddamn happy about that one too. And I said, now, go get that rotor tiller. You got a rotor tiller? Yep, I knew you had one. Go get the rotor tiller and just rotor till the tops off, get that goddamn shingles off this. And 10, 15 minutes later, that thing's shingle free. I'm throwing the haywire in the truck, getting the saw, whatever, we're leaving. We've nailed it. They're going to come back, they're going to burn it. I'm going to be going back to work. I'm logging. This is the way it is. And that's the way things happened. And, I'm just going to come back and I'm going to tell stories and stuff, how it comes out. I'm going to tell you stories that are going to be like, did this really happen? And yes, it did. And I'll be coming back. I'll tell you about the story of my dad cutting a car in half with a chisel and a hammer. And that's coming next. I got 2 different mouses for 2 different computers. And also, if somebody thinks, well, how does John get along with no company? Well, I go through ChatterBait, and you know what? I've got like at least 5 girlfriends I would consider girlfriends, and maybe 10. And I slip them tip money, and they're always welcome. They're always kind to me. They always treat me good, and they fulfill my things that I am missing in life. And you know what? ChatterBait, often imitated, never duplicated. Those are fantastic women. They're happy because they're living their own life, and they haven't been abused. And some of them have. That's why they're there. I cold read people. 14 minutes, and I'm out of here.